Hi, my name is Paul Sohl. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Florida High Tech Corridor Council here in the big region of Central Florida, all the way from Tampa through Orlando, Gainesville, and the Space Coast. Oh, great. Okay, so what is a high tech corridor council? Um, it's an organization that helps attract, retain, and grow high-tech businesses here in Florida, and most importantly, the workforce to support those businesses. It That's a big statement. It's kind of broad. Um, the specifics of it are we are helping folks create opportunities um, for for the high tech world to be involved in Florida and all the great things that go on here. So my role is to lead what I think is probably the greatest team I've ever led. I spent 33 years in the Navy, and I consider myself probably in this role as the chief executive officer. I work for officially the presidents of three of the big research universities here in Florida, University of Florida, University of South Florida, and University of Central Florida, and in execution of our mission that I described earlier. Day to day, what does that mean? I get a chance to talk to some amazing people across the region and see what they're doing in creating pathways for students, in thinking about ways to attract businesses. The best part about the job that I love is I get to learn about a dozen things a day that I didn't learn, that I didn't know at the beginning of the day. And that's what's for me most fun. Yeah, so because I'm older than perhaps a lot of the people that are in your series of discussions. I spent 33 years in the Navy. I had a great um, high school guidance counselor, Ron Jansen, who, when he heard I was interested in flying, um, and I knew that I was going to apply simply to the Air Force Academy, as well as Air Force RTC. He said, Paul, humor me, and why don't you go ahead and fill out applications for all three services? And I asked him, like any good high school senior would, why should I do that, Mr. Jansen? And he said, just humor me and do that. And what it amounted to was a chance, because I was not accepted as a pilot in the Air Force. I had the opportunity, thanks to Mr. Jansen's, um, to go fly with the Navy. And so I went to college at MIT, got a master's from Stanford. All the high school stuff that led up to that for me was huge, in the respect that I had teachers that cared for me, and would put up with my pushback on things. That led to just an amazing, for me, a blessing of different jobs in the Navy, from F-18 pilot to test pilot, where I get to fly all kinds of different things, to commanding officer of the Navy Test Pilot School. So now I've got to be in academia and teach students, which was scary at first, that's for sure. And then to go on and be in naval aviation maintenance as well as test and evaluation. So how do you look at Navy programs and things that we buy, everything from little small medical devices to huge submarines. We have to go out and make sure they work. So that took me through last summer of 2019. That then led to what is probably some of the best advice I ever had is don't rush into the next part of your journey. And so I took a little bit of time off. Our family had spent some time in Florida. I loved the idea of coming back to kind of the corridor area, between Tampa and Orlando and Gainesville, and then out to the Space Coast. because of the exciting things that were going on. And I wanted to do two things. One is I wanted to be able to give back and really sort of pay forward the blessings that we had as a family in the Navy, and blessings of having great parents and who were also very patient. Being a middle child, a middle tortured brother between two sisters, and I love them to death. And they shaped me as well. But to take the time to think about what's next, and and I honestly, over the course of about 8 months, kept coming back to Florida and seeing the opportunities, and life for everyone, takes its twists and turns. I was offered an opportunity to join this amazing team of the high tech corridor, and again, I feel like there are definitely days where I feel like the most undereducated, unqualified individual for this, and the most excited because of what's going on. So I've been able to take the things that the Navy has taught me and really brought them forward into what I think is a great relationship, and just exciting for me to help lead this team. So, favorite part of my career. And because I had retired from the Navy, I'll talk about the Navy piece first. As part of the Navy family now, and that's with our family, and that never goes away. The most fun, the most favorite part of that was for me. Well, two things. One is flying F-18s. There is nothing more fun than flying fast jets off of aircraft carriers. Can be scary, but at the same time, just a lot of fun as we execute our mission in the Navy, and that is protecting this country. So a chance to be able to do some pretty high tech things, as well as protect the country, I think was very fulfilling for me. In this role now, I think the most fun is being able to see the next generation and talk with them, the high school students, the college students, the young inventors, the young entrepreneurs, the kid with an idea, and who hasn't lived yet through the school of hard knocks, and who really has a passion for, I want to go do this. Me personally, I want to knock down every barrier that person might come across to be able to help them to get to that dream. And I think that's kind of where we are in the world of technology today. Is you can do, I know it sounds trite, you can do anything. You can create your own invention. You can anything that you have a thought of what you want to do in the future is out there for you. That's good. Least favorite. I guess for me, probably the least favorite thing for me being in the Navy was being away from family. There's a sacrifice there that our sailors and our Marines do every day. We call it that they're out on the pointy end. They're out on the tip of the spear, and they are away from family, and that hurts. I think, as I've told many folks at their retirements or changes of command, things like that, I look right in the front row and I look at that family and I say, you have served with your dad, mom, husband, wife. You're serving as part of that Navy family, and I think that's an important piece. Being away from family is not easy. So as I look back, and my wife and I look back now at after 33 years, two of our three kids are in college, and one is in high school, and there are times that I wish I would have been here for them. Luckily, I have the best wife in the world, and she's the best mom to our kids, and so that works out. But that was probably the hard piece, I think. Yeah. So, gosh, couple words of advice. as I think about it and I look back, I thank God that I had folks that were mentors of mine even before I knew what a mentor was, even before I knew that they actually cared about what it was that I was thinking about doing. So my direct advice to the students would be, I know, I know you probably get a lot of advice from a lot of people, and they all tell you, hey, go do this or go do that. Um, Listen, take the time to have the conversation. Share your ideas with those that are talking to you about what you want to do. You have a voice. You have a voice in, and we knew this with our kids. Our older two went to college. One went to Virginia Tech, one went to University of Dallas, and we wanted to make sure it was a good fit. We wanted to make sure college was a good fit. um, you're part of the equation and you have a voice as you listen to folks that give you advice that sometimes might seem like, why would I want to do that? The other thing I would say is don't let people say you can't do that. Um, I applied to MIT. That was my stretch school. I guarantee I was from the Midwest. What did I know? uh, I looked at it and said, well, my advisor said apply to a stretch school. Don't just go for schools that you think you can get in. And so I did. I think there were a lot of people that said you're crazy. Oh, okay. I think things happen for a reason, and I was able to be fortunate enough to meet some of my greatest friends and classmates and leaders from that organization. Um, and I had parents who believed in me, because I guarantee you the first few weeks at MIT for me was not a cakewalk. I thought for sure I was going to fail out. And I was ready to quit. I was ready to say, this is not for me. And I had the wherewithal to listen to my parents and say, okay, let's stick it out for a little while. But go try things. Um, there are so many things out there that you're able to do, that if you can marry up that your passion with what you want to do. You may have heard people tell you, it's the perfect job is one where you don't think you worked a day in your life. In 33 years in the Navy, I don't think I worked a day in my life during that time. I had so much fun with some of the best people out there doing what I think is probably the most important mission, and that is defending our country. As a citizen, um, that's probably what has given me the greatest joy. Left to my own devices, I never would have been on that path. I would have quit, um, but just kind of stick it out. Here's what I would tell you. Um, I would love to hear about what's going through your heads right now as students in this COVID world, in the challenges that you have as you're thinking about what to do next. Um, get out of your comfort zone and reach out and connect with me. I'd love to be able to, if you're at all interested in things that are opportunities that you might not have even considered. Um, I'd love to talk to you about them. I think the military itself is a tremendously creative workforce, organization. We need the best and brightest creative minds to be out there to help protect against the threats that are out there today. I would love to be a part of that discussion. Your teachers have a way of connecting with me and others on these video series. Reach out and connect. That would give me great joy in being able to listen and to learn and to think about what's going on in your mind, and how I might be able to help.